All right, episode 2 of the Department Podcast with Justin, Jesse, and Steve. Joe sitting this one out because he could care less about wrestling,
Hey,
but
man.
we still do. So something we've wanted to do for a while with when we were in college at radio was an instant reaction. So here's our thoughts right after basically a half hour of the horror show at Extreme Rules. And thankfully for the good news and the good part of it, it wasn't exactly a horror show. It was a good show.
It was pretty good. It was decent. I'd say it was decent. It had its ups. It had some downs, but I'd say mainly ups, honestly, for the show. All overall, good show, in my opinion.
Yeah, majority of the matches, I would say majority of the matches were good, but some of the lows for me were pretty low, and I was falling asleep at some points.
I get that. Yeah, I understand.
We talked about it earlier, on episode 1 earlier in the week, where since they are trying to go for longer matches and shorter match and less matches on the card, there'd be a few matches that would inevitably get too much time.
Yeah.
And a few of those definitely hit that point, for me at least.
Yeah, for me too as well.
Yeah, there were a couple, for sure. Yeah.
Any in particular off the bat before we go down the card?
Bailey, Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross definitely went
That's number one on my list.
Yeah.
It was good up to a certain point. Then there were like too many kickouts, and it was just too much for me. Like there wasn't enough riding on that match for it to be that long, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they tried to play up like this was the biggest match of Nikki Cross's career, but it went on a little too long. Like you could have easily cut out about 5 minutes of that match, and it would have still been the same quality.
I agree.
Probably would have been a little bit better if you cut some of that out.
Wikipedia has it as a 12-minute and 20-second match, so maybe just around 9 minutes would have been better.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a long match. It was just, especially this is my problem with naming a pay-per-view Extreme Rules when you just have a normal match that felt like it could have been on SmackDown or Raw. It just doesn't feel like it should be on that card. Like they have a Big Show Randy Orton unsanctioned match on tomorrow night. Why would you not have that on the Extreme Rules?
It makes no sense. Two top stars, like two of the biggest names in wrestling too, Orton and Big Show. Like it makes no sense. Like
And before we get into it, wasn't Jeff Hardy and Sheamus supposed to have the barroom fight tonight too, and that just kind of like disappeared, or like was that
fizzled out of nowhere? I'm pretty sure it was supposed to happen.
I thought on Friday, I think Sheamus hurt Hardy. I thought that's what I don't know. That was
don't know.
Speaking of hurt, Apollo Crews is
that wasn't really a match, so we can just get that out of the way. He got hurt in the Master
last
Lock,
month?
Full Nelson, last month, and it's been a while.
My prediction is that he has Corona. He has to have Corona.
That's what I thought, but I don't know. Maybe they are just. This could very well be just like a thing where they're trying to get Lashley's Full Nelson over.
Could be. And it's probably inevitably building towards, the unification of the two U.S. titles, probably at SummerSlam.
Probably. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, honestly.
I didn't think about that at all.
Long term, it probably would.
Oh, God, hopefully Cruz doesn't bring back, like, the old belt. The new belt looks so much better.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful title.
It's a nice belt. It looks way better than the Universal title.
If he has Corona, I hope he doesn't. I hope he gets well. But hoping for the best. Hopefully all is good and it's just all part of the storyline with him. And we can just carry on from this and eventually get one U.S. champion soon.
All right, well, we'll just go down the card, I guess, and talk about each match a little bit here and there. On the pre-show, surprisingly announced 5 minutes. Basically, it seemed like before the show, Kevin Owens defeated Murphy.
We got to talk.
Why is Kevin Owens even on the pre-show?
Why are both of these guys on the pre-show? Like, first of all, like, it's frustrating. The match was really good too. It had the caliber to be on the main card, and
of course it did.
It's frustrating. The rumors are because he implemented the mask policy, but I don't know. I don't know if they're quote unquote punishing him for that. But that match should have been on the kickoff.
They should have taken the U.S. title match and put it on the main card on the pre-show if they were just going to do the non-match
little segment. Yeah. Agree.
Well, and the show ended early enough that they could have had another match.
Ended at 9:30.
If they take that 5 minutes out of the MVP Lashley stuff, make that a 1 minute package thing that they just throw in like, oh, if you guys didn't see this, this was on the kickoff. Put the Owens Murphy match. I don't think they were punishing Owens. I think they just don't really care about Owens.
They don't know what to do with him too, at the same time.
So Owens is a guy that I think they rely on and fall back on, similar to Dolph Ziggler. When they don't have somebody else, or they don't have somebody that they know that they want to build at the time, they're like, oh, just put Owens in. Do something with Owens.
He's very reliable.
Owens has been said to be done with Seth Rollins, or Seth Rollins said Owens was done with him and everything before Mania. Yeah. And he's still doing the Rollins sort of storyline.
Enough's enough. Like, get both of those guys in championship matches. Honestly, they both deserve to have.
Once they figure out what they're doing with the U.S. title, just put Kevin Owens back on that and give him like the Face of America run again.
The Face of America was so good, and they gave it to him for like 2 weeks.
It was beautiful.
Just bring that back, And Murphy, I remember they tweeted out, they're like, maybe Owens took him out of the equation for the eye for an eye match. It's like they didn't even have Austin Theory pop up either. So.
Oh, he's gonna be gone for a little bit, Austin Theory, because of some allegations against him. He's sitting out to the side.
Yeah, I think that faction's breaking down probably right now.
It's breaking down. Seth's gonna take some time off because he's expecting in December, I believe. So.
Yeah.
So he's not expecting. His wife is. He's not the pregnant one.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right. So that's finally on to the main show. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defeated the New Day in a tables match. Watching this match, my neck hurt a lot throughout the entire. It seemed like a lot of the bumps throughout the course of this show. It seemed like a lot of the bumps were a lot harder than usual.
Yeah,
it was brutal. And
for several matches, I was watching and cringing a little bit, like, "Ooh, that's not the normal."
The Kofi, the power bomb.
Yes, to end the match. Yes,
that was a hit right there.
Yeah, power bomb, 2 tables and
tables, and those tables. I mean, he snapped through them. Like they didn't slowly kind of creep. Like he broke those things.
And Kofi's not the biggest guy too. He's a small guy. They had to take some force, throw him through both of those tables. So, hey, we got new SmackDown Tag Team Champions though out of this. So, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. It's a change.
It's the right time, I think, to get the titles off the New Day if you were going to give them something else.
Okay.
My only thing is, I think they're just going to keep them in this
for loop.
Probably another. I don't know. I think what they could do is probably SummerSlam. There's maybe a 3-way tag. Because on those big shows they like to put like 3-4-way tag matches. So I could see like New Day, Cesaro, Nakamura, and
Miz and Morrison or something.
Yeah, Miz and Morrison fill in 4th tag team. The Lucha Brothers, or not the Lucha Brothers, Lucha House Party.
They're hopping over.
Honestly, though, I would almost keep them out of the title picture until Woods is able to come back, because he tore his Achilles in October, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, timetable maybe SummerSlam.
It should be around there. He should at least be able to do something, but I don't know. They could always end up like hosting SummerSlam. Probably. I would like to see one of them do something in like a singles thing again, like how Kofi was. I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Give it to Big E. Give Big E a shot.
It seems like he'd be the next man up to do that.
Supposed to be the one that, like, apparently WWE always wanted as the singles guy. Yeah. So it's interesting that he really never has gotten that run either.
Crazy, very crazy.
But also just watching the match too, Cesaro and Nakamura worked really well as a team.
Yeah.
Well, they've been kind of teaming for a while now with Sami Zayn as their
like on and off
leader or whatever. But Sami Zayn, what's going on with Sami Zayn? He just doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to come in because
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But no, like you said, great chemistry between the two as a team.
Yeah,
I love it.
They do the Cesaro did the spin into a knee like how he used to do with Tyson Kidd when they would do the drop kick. I mean, there's 4 good wrestlers in this match. So it was good. Realistically, Shinsuke and Cesaro shouldn't even be in the tag team division.
Of course.
But when you move in 2 guys that are so talented, you elevate the tag team matches to a degree that I thought this was a pretty one of my more favorite matches of the night. I would say
started off hot. Like
started
between the
off
pre-show
very
and that,
well.
it started off hot. The show.
Yeah, it was a great opener, and I had to cringe when they used like those 3D graphics for like the entrances again.
Yeah.
Cesaro had like the Matrix coming out, and then Nakamura had like a dome, almost like a roof.
The dome doesn't work when you're in a performance center. If you're in a bigger arena, that graphic could work, but like it's I don't know. How much money did Vince pay for these? That's all I want to know. I don't know because a lot of people have.
I was worried that the CGI eye for the eye for an eye match was going to look like that.
That's what I thought too. Yeah,
I thought it was just going to be bad, but thankfully it wasn't, because it wasn't those shitty like VR, like alternate reality things.
Yeah.
But good match though. I'm happy. Yeah. It's different, for them to have the tag belts and a breath of fresh air. Now it would be interesting to see if they're going to keep the New Day them feuding back and forth till SummerSlam though.
Oh, we'll see. Because SmackDown hasn't been hottest, so we'll see what they do.
Yeah, because that's about a month away, and that's a long crawl.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So next up was Bayley versus Nikki Cross, and we alluded to it a little bit. Match went on a little bit longer than we probably would have liked in general, but all in all, it was a good match, though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. It was just a little long. Bayley and Sasha Banks continue to be the most two entertaining people on the entire roster.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, they're phenomenal together.
They're incredible.
And I think what we said in the last episode, that this is when they're going to break them up now, when they're at the top, top of their game.
Yeah. They're incredible. The cutting away whenever they went to Sasha and she's just wearing all the belts. Love it. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's just Nikki Cross did fine. Like, it was an okay match. You got to expect she's stepping into a role now where Becky is gone for the foreseeable future. Charlotte is gone for the foreseeable future. Asuka's already the women's champion on Raw. And then you have Bayley on SmackDown, and Banks is with Bayley. What other women did that really leave in the division that WWE's put time into?
Literally no one, because we see what they're doing with Naomi right now and all that.
Yeah.
People are mad about it, which is good. Yeah. I'm glad people are voicing their opinion on her. I guess Lacey, but is Lacey a heel now too? It's very confusing what Lacey is. Then there's like Tamina, Dana Brooke, and that's all. And maybe Carmella. I forget that Carmella's on SmackDown still.
I still don't. What is Ember Moon's timeline?
I saw a while ago that she said it's like career threatening what happened to her ankle.
It wouldn't be surprised because it's felt like
it's been like a year.
Been gone like forever. Yeah,
it's been a long time.
A year.
And she was supposed to be like the top dog.
Bianca can't get on the card. Shayna's doing nothing.
They just came back last week, and that's insane. That they were out for just doing nothing, basically.
Just doing nothing.
I know Bianca was having matches on main event. I know. I'm like, why is she on main event? Save that for like the undercard women. And
she's so great
talented.
in the Rumble.
She's so talented.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a problem we're gonna see when they have 5 women's wrestlers and 2 to 3 of them are gone, and what are you gonna do?
And it'll only be a matter of time until they default to just putting one of the belts back on Bliss at that point,
Yeah.
That's their go-to.
Well, that's their go-to. I mean, and I don't want it to happen because I think Nikki and Alexa are best together. But it wouldn't surprise me if Alexa beats Bayley, let's say at like SummerSlam, and then Nikki gets jealous because Alexa beat her and she didn't win or something like that.
Possible, very possible.
That would not surprise me because like if Sasha and Bayley are obviously going to feud with Asuka, but if all the belts are there, you need somebody else to feud with. And also apparently Asuka's running a thing with Kairi Sane. Because Kairi Sane's contract's up?
It seems like now what they're doing is just pairing any 2 women up together and making them a quasi-tag team, but also putting them in the title picture for their respected shows.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right.
The best case scenario for this is, I mean, and we'll get to the Sasha Banks Asuka match, who's the champion.
They go hand in hand.
But let's say Sasha is the champion. The best thing to do is you probably run this for like a month or 2 and then have the Iconics going for the tag titles have Asuka going for the Raw Women's, have somebody else going for the SmackDown, and then they just can't. They can only hold on to a certain amount of belts or something like that. I think that's kind of what you have to do going.
Or what, like, realistically, what they could do is have, a women's tag match at SummerSlam, and then Banks and Bayley, both defend their respective show titles at SummerSlam as well. One of them lose, and maybe one costs them to lose in one match, and that's how they can kind of start the breakup and implant the seeds that way.
Yeah.
I don't want Bayley and Sasha to break up anytime soon.
No.
I'm good with them
staying. Inevitable.
Until like Becky and Charlotte are both like have a set date on when they're coming back. You need Sasha and Bayley to carry that women's division.
Sure.
And realistically, that breakup should be with fans.
Oh yeah.
That too. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right for sure. And who would be the heel? Bayley would stay heel probably then.
Oh boy,
you can't turn Bayley. You can't turn
Bayley back face, but also Sasha is
not the best of the face.
Sasha's not the best face.
Yeah, exactly.
But people do like Sasha.
That's the thing.
Everybody likes Sasha, so.
Hey, it's not up to us though for that to decide between that. That's up to the higher ups. So we'll see when it comes.
Yeah. Well, next up on the card was the U.S. title, whatever.
That was
who cares? That was a waste of time.
Waste of time.
Yeah. But then following that was the much anticipated eye for an eye match with Seth Rollins popping out Ray's ping pong ball eye, basically.
So, prediction from the start. Seth at the end looked so distraught and disgusted. He's taking time off. He's going to come back as a face.
The vomiting was a nice touch.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
I mean, that can almost play into your idea, Jesse, of where it's like, he's so disgusted with what he did.
Exactly. That's what I think it is. Yeah.
It's smart, but the match itself was good.
It was good to a fault because, like, there were parts you just had to look away because you're like, this is. Like, you're not supposed to watch somebody try to jam something in somebody else's eye. It's just like, like, at least if they're trying to knock somebody out for a 3 count, it's like, okay, they're trying to knock them out for a little bit, not trying to blind them. But the match was so good, it just, like, it makes me sad because I'm like, if they just did a regular Extreme Rules match, would have easily been match of the night, far and away. Because they did it, like, they were so good. Everything they did, I felt like, was really good, especially past, like, the midpoint when it really started to kick up. It was just like, when Seth has the kendo stick on the turnbuckle and is trying to throw Ray into it, I'm like, I can't watch this.
Your own eyes starts to hurt.
The part that really made me squirm was when Ray had the splintered part of the kendo stick was like,
oh my god, he's jamming it,
And I thought when Rollins had his eye jammed up against his step, I thought that's when they were going to pull away and it would be like gouged out or something.
Gouged out,
nope.
Yeah. But no.
I thought they were going to stomp Ray's eye too, like when he was on the steps.
Yeah.
Thank God they didn't. I'm so happy that they didn't like show a popped out CGI eyeball.
Well, it wasn't an eyeball. It was hard to see in a way too.
I didn't see anything. All I seen was Ray going like this, which I was like, I'm fine with that. That's fine.
It was literally a blink and you miss it moment.
Oh my god, I must have blinked.
I'll find it and send it to you, Jesse. But it was basically a ping pong ball with like jelly around the base of it.
That's basically what it was. Yeah, I saw it on like Twitter. I was like, oh, I missed that. I was just like, okay. I saw Rollins puking afterwards, and I thought, okay, that's it.
Yeah,
but it was okay for what it could have been.
They say his orbital, as long as his
the nerve is still connected.
The orbital nerve is still connected. He can still see.
So of course they're always planting the seeds for him to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the second you saw like the hawk bird part of Ray's mask, like the eye patch was gone. It's like, yep, he's losing.
Yep.
Yeah. No, you're right. 100%.
I love Ray's shirt though. That says "Go."
Yeah.
I liked his color scheme though for the show.
The neon color.
Yeah, with the gray.
Very nice. No, I agree.
And for people, like, it was an anticlimactic match. It's like, you're not going to get them literally, like, an eyeball getting ripped out, like Indiana Jones, like, holding the friggin' heart.
Yeah, no. I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be.
I agree.
Because when you have that stipulation, you have to make, like if you're doing, like, a submission match, right, and you have, like, a submission finisher on the legs, you're going to, like, wear down the legs. In this kind of match, you're supposed to wear down the person's eye.
I guess.
So if they keep cutting to the eye stuff, I think they did as good as they could with the stipulation that they were given.
And, like, when they pulled, like, the ice pick looking tool out of, like, the tool, it's like, oh god, they can't, like, shish kebab it, right? Like, they're not
just pulling everything. He was like, pliers, okay, gonna go try to attack him. Miss. Let me grab this ice pick. Let me grab all this other stuff.
Like, why do we watch this stuff? Like, this is crazy stuff. Like,
they were trying to kill each other.
What's going on here?
Jesse, I just sent you the tweet with an eye, the caption, so you can see it. But, like, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have maybe showed that a little bit too, would have added. I don't know, but
I don't think they wanted to either, because it could have looked really bad. Like, not bad as in like, oh god, this is gruesome. Like, bad, like, it looks like a 1980s horror movie, and then all credibility would have went away.
Well, we kind of saw a 1980s horror movie a little bit later in the show.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a couple matches. But
I think we're not going to see Ray for a while, and Seth won't be on for a while either.
Ray's... I can see Seth coming out tomorrow night and saying, like, I need to take some time or something like that.
Like Soul Searcher.
Ray's probably gone because his contract's up.
Honestly.
So I would assume Ray's gone.
Well, next up was the Raw Women's title with Sasha Banks, I guess, winning, sort of.
Hey, when Bayley threw on that ref shirt, she became the official ref of the match.
You're not wrong.
Sasha
is that in the playbook?
Sasha is the champion. I feel like I've seen that before.
And I feel like they rang the bell.
They rang the bell.
It doesn't matter. They rang the bell. Exactly. Sasha's champ right now. It was a good match, though. Let's not.
Oh, it was a very good match.
It was a great match. It's like the top two current active wrestlers right now, I'd say, female-wise, because like Charlotte, Becky are doing their own thing, but currently wrestling right now, top two.
Yeah, for me, definitely match of the night. I thought it was the best match. It was the most back and forth, just like pretty much even match until like it pretty much became that Sasha had better help than Asuka did. Like Bayley was better help than Kairi Sane was.
Basically, yeah.
So that's kind of, and I knew something was going on because at the end of the match there were just so many belts because there was like 3 different belts in the ring. So then like the ref got one out, and then there was another one that Bayley threw in, and but I didn't hate the finish as much as everybody else did. I thought
I loved it.
Though.
I thought it was creative. I really liked it.
And with them trying to get like Bayley and Banks over as like the chicken shit heels almost a little bit,
perfect.
It was something different that we usually don't see with those types of characters trying to steal a win.
Yeah, people complain when they do the same old thing in the company, but then people still complain when they change stuff up like that. Like they can't be happy like with what they're giving out. Like just accept it.
Even at the end of the match, when they were cutting away, you see the ref still there with the mist in his face. He still couldn't
barely
see.
Was any
what
mist.
else was Bayley gonna do?
Exactly. He's helping out a friend.
The match needed a ref. Bayley happily obliged.
There you go.
Sasha is the champ. That's how it works.
Just like that.
So I wonder what they're gonna do next with the title, because allegedly Asuka is going to retire Kairi Sane, because Kairi Sane's going back to Japan.
Okay.
So like, is that like a 2-week program that they run and then just move Asuka back?
Probably.
Yes.
That's what I would assume.
Who else do they need to use? This is the same issue with like the tag belts now. It's like they have really nobody.
They have nobody.
That's credible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the issue when you put them in karaoke contests. You have no.
Naya.
Oh God, no!
I wouldn't trust Nia.
I don't want Nia.
Nia
with
Sasha. As far as you can throw
Are you kidding me? You're asking Sasha to be out for 9 months.
I mean, if they wanted someone to retire Kairi Sane, they
there you go.
Nia Jax. If Nia Jax and Sasha Banks had a pay-per-view match at SummerSlam, Sasha would get legitimately very hurt.
Shayna?
Yeah.
There's no...
I mean, Shayna just came back, so they probably have something planned for her.
There you go.
If Shayna comes out, loses at SummerSlam, then she's just lost to Becky and Sasha, and it's... Just
losing big matches.
She just lost 2 big matches.
Yeah, no.
And then besides the Elimination Chamber, what has she done?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah. And they don't even talk about the Elimination Chamber anymore.
No, that was just for WrestleMania, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do.
It's amazing how the women's division went from so deep, so talented, to now just being rated with basically 2 people taking time off for personal reasons.
Yeah. And I mean, they still have a great women's division on NXT. And I don't think they should move people up necessarily, because I still think those people in NXT have stuff to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it just, you shouldn't have 2 stars or 3 stars for a division, and then you really fall apart when those 2 go away. I said while I was watching it, the only real reason Asuka is a star right now is because Becky and Charlotte are gone. Yeah. Otherwise, she doesn't have this championship, and she doesn't have this run.
Becky still has it, and Asuka has... who knows if Asuka wins Money in the Bank then?
Honestly. Yeah, he probably still was going to win it, but probably it wouldn't be for the belt then, obviously.
It would have been much different.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Well, next up was the WWE Championship with Dolph naming the rules, which turned into just an Extreme Rules for him, and then anything else that would have gotten Drew McIntyre disqualified in a standard wrestling match would have awarded Dolph the title. We wouldn't have an Extreme Rules pay-per-view without an Extreme Rules match, and we got half of that.
This was my match of the night.
Really?
Yeah. I really liked this match. I thought it was a very smart thing of Dolph to do this. It played into the story perfectly. He knows he can't beat Drew one-on-one in whatever type of stipulation match. If it was a regular Extreme Rules match, he's getting the exact same advantages with the chairs, the kendo sticks, all that stuff. So I thought it was a very smart move. They played it really well, both of them together. I don't know. I just really enjoyed what they performed for us in the ring and the way they told this story. I thought it was good.
My main problem with any Dolph match is the zigzag is the worst finisher.
Yeah, it's just a glorified neck breaker.
It's even worse than that. It's like he hit like 2 zigzags on him, then Uranagi onto a chair, and I was just like, no chance that's pinning Drew. That literally looks so soft.
But just the ending too, the kip up into the Claymore.
That was see, it's like Drew is so good.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they've done him any favors, because the only like really good star they've given him to work with was Seth.
Yeah.
And that was once.
Very short-lived.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they were gonna do AJ until AJ got moved.
Probably. For sure, probably.
I mean, but like who's he gonna face next now? Because Dolph was already like the last. I think Orton's doing his own like Legends thing.
But it's almost like they might almost build that for a collision course for him, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. I think Orton should stay on his own thing.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be Orton too.
The only way if they do Orton McIntyre, have Orton win just so that Edge can come back
and win the title. That's cool.
Yeah, but then Drew's just... What was the point of Drew?
Drew got gingered then.
This title reign's way better than Jinder's, I'll tell you that right now. This title reign is great.
Well, yeah, he's actually beating credible wrestlers.
Yeah.
They need to wait to take the belt off of Drew until fans are there. Because he's so good. Like, he needs to interact with the crowd as the champion. Because I think the crowd really likes him much more than they have any other champion that they've had since Brock Lesnar came back, for the most part.
Yeah.
On Raw anyway.
On Raw, yeah. Yeah, no, you're right, because usually the Raw champs are kind of, it was Brock, it was Roman for a bit.
Goldberg.
Brock, Roman, Seth Rollins. Pick any of those three out of a certain period of time, and that was it for about the past 3-4 years.
Yeah, no, you're right. I like it though. I like Drew.
No, I like Drew a lot. I think they need to get him some better personnel to work with.
Yeah.
Because they can't run Bobby Lashley back out there now when he's in the middle of the U.S. title thing.
I mean, maybe they turn Owens heel, put him in the match. I could see that happening.
Possible.
They don't care about flipping Owens back and forth.
No, they don't.
He's almost the new Big Show.
Oh, I'll say that.
I know they won't do it, but him and Murphy would have a fantastic match if they would ever do that.
Murphy and Drew
McIntyre, that would be a really good feud, I think.
I think Murphy's gonna get lost now too if Seth goes away for a bit.
Yeah,
he's gonna float around and get jobbed out to Aleister Black or something again.
Oh, that could be someone though.
Aleister Black, because he's not her face. He's not a heel. He's not. He's
just there. He's just chilling.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, but Black hasn't had. Aleister Black is my favorite wrestler, probably in the company right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if putting him in a SummerSlam match, in a championship match, and having him lose is the best thing for him.
Yeah.
You could run Ricochet. I mean, Ricochet just gets jobbed out now. Him and Drew would have a fantastic SummerSlam.
What about Andrade?
I don't think they like Andrade enough to do that already.
They have the story with it. Andrade beat Drew for the NXT title, so they have a story there. It's right in front of them if they ever want to run that. So, once again, we'll have to wait and see.
We got to wait and see what they do if they go the easy route or the creative route. And if it's anything with WWE, we're probably getting Orton McIntyre at SummerSlam then.
Yeah.
If Cole is done in NXT,
I forgot about Cole.
Yeah,
because there's rumors that he might be getting called up. If he moves up with UE and they attack Drew, I mean that's perfect because that's what he did. That's what they did when they debuted.
If Drew Dolph would have main evented tonight, it would have been perfect to call him up.
It would have been perfect to have UE. But I don't know. Maybe they run Drew somebody else at SummerSlam.
Have them come up at SummerSlam.
Then have them come up at SummerSlam.
In the main event of SummerSlam. That's how you end SummerSlam right
there. That's how you end that. That would be good.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. The match we are all waiting for, the final match of the night, the Swamp Fight with the three faces of Bray and Braun Strowman, basically.
Yeah.
It was really recorded.
I liked it.
So I've been a big fan of the pre-recorded WWE matches so far. The Boneyard match at WrestleMania was fantastic. Firefly Funhouse was my match of the year so far. It was I love the Firefly Funhouse match. But I definitely think this was way weaker than the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh.
Definitely weaker than the Firefly Funhouse. But I also think, when you go from John Cena to Braun Strowman,
there's going to be a drop-off.
There's a drop.
There's a big dip, yeah.
This didn't work for me the same way, not because of Bray. I didn't believe Braun in any of it. Yeah. Like Braun being like, I'm going to send you back to hell. I was like, you just sound like you're reading. I'm like, you just sound like you're reading lines. Like, it never felt genuine from Braun, which would have made sense if you were telling a story that, like, Braun has regrets about maybe he does want to come back. But that's not what they did the whole time. Like, the whole time Braun was like, I don't, want you. I don't need you.
In the promo package, too, he's like, yeah, all the stuff I did, I enjoyed doing it. It's like, now he's like, no. Like, what?
No.
Well, but then the guy gets lit on fire and he starts laughing.
What the hell was that? The knockoff druids. Did you love how they had basically knockoffs of Rowan and Harper because they didn't want to have their appearances, so they put go sheet masks on them?
I thought Rowan was going to come back.
Me too. I
definitely thought Rowan was going to come back. But I mean, I just feel like the story that was being told was that Bray wanted to protect Braun from the Fiend, And I don't know if they told that through this match. Like, Bray started when it first started after, he knocked him out with the shovel. And he's like, I'm not your enemy. We can do this together. And then Bray, is like, I'm never going back to where I was before, which to me means, the Fiend took over.
Yeah.
So that was Bray saying, Braun, if you come with me, we can beat the Fiend together. And then Braun pushed him away, and then eventually, in the end, the Fiend came out anyway.
Came back.
It's almost like they're making the Fiend and Bray Wyatt like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Which I like, and I really like that.
Me too.
But, it's just with Braun, it just fell apart a little bit for me.
But it's just the right story. You have to do this with Braun, in my opinion, just because of the history of both of them together.
Yeah.
But we also haven't seen the Fiend since WrestleMania.
In the ring, no.
We definitely see him at SummerSlam.
Yeah, we probably see him at SummerSlam. Instead of take the belt from Strowman, probably.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen the Fiend on TV in person since WrestleMania. I can't think of another time because at Money in the Bank, he faced.
It was Bray.
It was regular Funhouse Bray.
Yeah.
Did he do anything at Backlash? He wasn't on the card for Backlash. That's right.
No,
he was on the card.
Backlash, yeah.
And now the Fiend finally washed up now. So, Fiend's back. That's a big thing. Takeaway from this match.
And I love the little jab at the karaoke showdown or whatever it was earlier in the show.
I love when he was like, "You dumb rabbit."
You know what you did.
You know what you did. Bray's so good, and he's so many levels above everything else, especially in the pre-recorded kind of atmosphere that he can do. He just does so much that is so much better than what anybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Again, it just kind of I don't know. I haven't been a big Braun fan since him and the Roman storyline ended.
That's the last time when I liked him too. I haven't liked him too. I was a huge fan when he rebranded himself and was on Raw, and then
lost to Brock Lesnar 3 times.
And see ya. I'm done with you then. I was on the train. I was on the train, but not anymore. But it was a horror movie. That's exactly what it was. The match.
Yeah, when they were it
was a very good horror movie.
He's like, it's over. It's like he saw the little watermark come out. It's like, I've seen enough slashers. It's not over. Someone's popping out.
Yeah.
So, Alexa Bliss.
Yes, let's talk about this.
Yes.
Is she Sister Abigail?
No, that's all in his head. That was all in Braun's head.
I think it was the apparition of Sister Abigail taking the form of Bliss to kind of coerce him and confuse him a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, they never after the mixed tag thing.
They've never went back to that.
They've never really gone back to Team Big Little.
No.
Which everybody loved at the time. Everybody
it was great.
Bliss and Strowman.
Yeah.
So it's just at any other time I would be really excited for the Bliss Bray Wyatt maybe crossover thing, but I don't think they're gonna do anything with it, especially because Bliss is doing her own thing with Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
You never know, though.
I really think on Friday night, Nikki's going to be like, Alexa, what was that thing in the match? And she's going to be like, I have no idea. And then it's never going to be talked about.
But what if they do that, and then it happens again? And Alexa's becoming this crazy one now, like how Nikki was before.
Oh,
they switched?
They kind of switched. I said this years ago when they were a team. They should have switched personalities. Alexa becoming the crazy one. Nikki's already becoming the dainty little whatever she's now. She's not crazy like she used to be in NXT and Sanity and all that. They should already have done that. But if they start doing it now too, that's fine. That's fine. Have Alexa be Sister Abigail.
I think Alexa, as good as she is, she's been kind of stuck in the same role for a long time. Yeah. Even though she's gone from heel to face and they switch her a lot, it's still the same character no matter what.
For sure.
So her switching for even a little bit of time would be good. Would be really good, especially for the women's division that definitely needs an upkick right now.
Yeah. Anything else in that match stood out?
I mean, I guess the Fiend won.
I guess.
So I would say I would say Braun won the match, but the Fiend ended up coming out. So overall, Braun kind of lost.
Yeah.
Like, Bray was trying to protect him. The Fiend came out. The Fiend's going to destroy him at SummerSlam.
And all we know right now is Braun's in the middle of that swamp. Underwater.
Yeah.
Story in
the funniest visual for me though was like when Braun chokeslammed Bray like onto the boat and he just kind of like cruised out to the middle of the swamp.
And then the boat just came back empty too, and I was like, huh?
For a second, I was like, wait, did Braun just win? Yeah, Bray just
that was
sailed out to like the bay or something?
Yeah, that was funny. And then, like you said, the dude on fire just running over. The way he was running around. On fire too. And Braun just laughing. It was like
it was such like a cheesy '80s movie, just like fire stunt.
That's exactly what.
Like from SmackDown versus Raw, like 2008, when they had the Inferno match, and you would and the person would run around, and you would have to put him out with the fire extinguisher.
That's exactly what it was.
I mean, overall though, it was a good show. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
It was good, and I think it's always harder for pay-per-views when they have to precede a big four. It's harder for Elimination Chamber because Mania's right after it. And it's kind of harder.
You're always looking ahead.
Exactly. Like we brought up SummerSlam how many times tonight?
Exactly.
Because all you're thinking about, you're just thinking okay, how does this now impact the bigger pay-per-view in a month from now?
Exactly. No, you're right. And we'll see where the future leads us now, going into SummerSlam now, which is crazy that we're already at SummerSlam in 2020. Like, this year is just flying.
Oh, yeah. It's just
that's the good thing, at least, that it is moving pretty quick now.
Yeah.
Being stuck inside for the most part.
Yeah, like the first month, it was just like, there's nothing to do. And now it's just flying now. So
yeah, Jesse, you're going back to college next month.
Yeah, I am.
Crazy.
One day I hope I have a job by then.
Yeah, same. Can't relate.
Well, any last closing thoughts?
Good show. I enjoyed it. Great entertainment.
I thought it was solid. 3.25 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like
3.5 for me. Yeah.
It's definitely not the worst pay-per-view they put on in the COVID-19 era, but it's not the best.
Wasn't the worst, wasn't the best.
I thought this was better than TakeOver in Your House.
Oof.
Yes. I was not a fan of TakeOver in Your House.
Dream Adam Cole ruined it for me. That's the only thing.
Terrible.
And I'm a fan of it ending before 10 o'clock.
That is
very nice.
That was a very good thing.
3 hours
is at 9:45.
I was like, okay.
That's good for me. If you're paying $10 for the network, you don't need 5-hour pay-per-views. Like, people aren't spending $50 on this anymore.
If you're in the West Coast, it ended at 7 o'clock, and you have the whole night.
You had your night.
The whole night.
Yeah.
And they can actually go watch Dr. Baseball now.
Baseball's back.
Well, that was just our quick instant reaction to the Extreme Rules, the horror show at Extreme Rules. There's about 30 different names to this pay-per-view. But make sure to subscribe, and I guess in the description, I have to do the YouTube stuff now. I'm not used to that. But, social medias and everything down below.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram at _department_podcast. Follow us on Twitter at @thedepartmentp1. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, tell us what you thought about the show, and we'll see you guys soon.
Clark's good at that.
Yep, that's how you do an outro.